Hello everyone. Today we are going to look on the topic called as artificial intelligence and robotics. Myself BM Rajesh will be looking on the topic on sensors. Right. So in this video, what and all we are going to see it is we are going to see about sensors, robot sensors, internal sensors, and external sensors, and force sensors as well as your torque sensors, rain sensors, IR sensors, and ultrasonic sensors as well as the issues and constraints of your sensors. Like in this video, like we can see on the presentation, we can see so many sensors over here. There are different types of sensors over there in the artificial intelligence and networks. So when you talk about robot sensors, sensors are devices for sensing and measuring geometric and physical properties of robot and the subordinate environment. Like we have the position oriented velocity, acceleration, distance, size, force, movement, temperature, and luminance with etc. So you can see there are so many sensors which is on the slide. These are the some examples of some kind of sensors. When you talk about internal sensors, internal sensors are of different categories. One of those categories we can see it as your acceleration sensors and velocity sensors. So robot sensors can be classified into two groups. One as your internal sensors and second as your external sensors. Internal sensors obtain the information about the robot itself, like the position sensor, velocity sensor, and maybe acceleration sensor and motor torque sensors. So these are the some examples of your internal sensors overlay. So when you talk about your external sensors obtain the information in the surrounding environment. Like we have the cameras for viewing the environment. We can talk about the range sensors and IR sensors, and some of the laser range finder and ultrasonic sensors also. So contact and proximity sensors, like you have your photodiode, and we have the infrared detector, and we have the RFID, radio frequency identification, and we have some kind of your touch sensors also. So some of the other categories, we have your force sensors which are measuring the interaction forces with the environment, like that. So similarly, we have the cameras and ultrasonic sensors which has been placed in the satellites. So today we are sending certain satellites to the space. So those kind of satellites are carrying your cameras. Those cameras are measured in terms of your external sensors over here. And force sensors, every time we talk about your force sensors can be measured by measuring the deflection of an elastic element. Like for example, we measure with the examples of n/1. The strain with the measure is about 0.005 mm/mm. Strain gauges most common sensing elements of force. It converts the deformation to the change of its resistance. So gauge resistance varies from 30 to 3K, corresponding to the deformation of 30 units of 30 to 100 units also. So sensors are of different categories. Every time we talk about sensors are of different categories, which is helping you across to measure how the sensing is being helping across. So today we have your IoT applications. IoT applications are also framed with your sensors in different categories. So here we can see some of the force sensors which detect the resistance changes of the strain gauge using the Wheatstone bridge circuits. So this is one kind of a mathematical problem which has been used to have your sensors over here. So here you can see gauge where we have your velocity, we have your resistance, how the data has been measured across, and we have the measuring velocity which has been happening from one device to another device. So that is also happening when you talk about your sensors in the force sensors. So force sensors are some kind of a categories which is helping you across to move only with the help of a human interventions. So say for example, I wanted to give a input. So based on my input only the data will be taken across. So moving on to the next type of sensor, we talk about something called as your torque sensors. So what is this torque sensors? This torque sensors are some kind of a sensors which is helping you across to shaft, or we can say that as your shaft torque is measured with strain gauges. So why we talk about these type of strain or torque sensors is if there is a hurdle when a particular robot is being moved, and if it is a hurdle and it is not able to move further, what happens is this particular torque sensor, it stops over there and it senses the size of the hurdle, and it takes some other route to where the particular robot or the robot arm can be moved across. So shaft torque is measured with strain gauges mounted on a shaft with specially designed cross sections. So below you can see some pictures which I have placed, you have a torque sensor which has been happening with the help of your force sensors as well as your torque sensors. And moving on to the next picture and the next presentation, which is talking all about something called as a range sensor. So what is this range sensor is, which is helping you across to measure the distance from the sensor to a nearby objects. So if I wanted to measure a certain area, the length and the width of the sensor where I can move further. So to help you across, like we have the range sensors. To measure the distance from the sensors to a nearby object and working principles, we are using these kinds of sensors. So here we have to understand the importance of something called as a triangulation. Use the triangle formed by the traveling path of the signal to calculate the distance. That is what very important. As I was just telling you during the lecture, to calculate the distance between one end to another end, we are using range sensors. So time of flight is again important, and use the time of flight of the signals measures distance when we talk about your aircraft takeoff and landing. And this is what which is very important to understand how the range is being calculated in terms of your aircraft maintenance and landing in the airports. So in range sensors, we have the infrared range sensors, which is in other words, which could be called as a triangulation, and ultrasonic sensors, like we have the time of flight, and we have the laser range sensors. We can talk about the triangulation, and we have the some other kind of sensors over here also. So we talk about your IR range sensors. In other terms, we here in this distance, you can see we can talk about the shortest path and principles of operations and triangulations. And here we can talk about your IR emitter, plus we can have the focusing lens, plus we can have the position sensitive detectors also. So all these together is carried out in terms of your IR sensors. So this is what we were looking after. In the picture, you can see how the sensor and the distance measuring output, this which is compared with the distance of the reflective objects, is being compared over here. So not only that one, we talk about the time of flight range sensors also. As I was just discussing, we have the time of flight. The measured pulse typically comes from ultrasonic, RF, and your optical energy sources, where we have the distance is equal to vector which is multiplied into t, that is v into t, where we have the d is nothing but your round trip distance, as I was just telling you, and v is measured as speed of wave propagation, and t is nothing but your elapsed time. And sound is measured in say 0.3 meters per milliseconds, and RF of light has been measured in say 0.3 meters divided by ns, that is nothing but your nanoseconds. Very difficult to measure short distances and measures also. So when you talk about your ultrasonic sensors, basic principles of ultrasonic sensors are you have the or emissions of your quick burst of ultrasound, which is like say 50 kilohertz human hearing of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, measured to elapse time until the receiver indicates that an echo is detected. So determine how far away the nearest object is from the sensor, where I was just giving the formula where we have the d is equal to v multiplied by t, and that is how the measurement of the ultrasonic sensors been happening. So the best examples, like we can tell an example of a dolphin, how a dolphin senses the sound. If there is any radiation or the noise, based on that one, it does not come onto that particular place. So some of the examples of ultrasonic sensors are like we can talk about your dolphins, and ranging is accurate, but bearing which is about 30 degree, which is uncertainty over here. So another problem in the propagation time is the ultrasonic signal will take minimum of say 10 milliseconds to travel 60 meters, which may be say 30 meters round trip of say the rate of say 340 milliseconds maybe or later also. So some examples of ultrasonic sensors we can see over here. We have the applications, we have the distance measurement, we have the mapping and rotating proximity scans and maps of the proximity of objects and surroundings of objects. So all these are some of the examples when you talk about your ultrasonic sensors. And some limitations, when you talk about the limitations of ultrasonic sensors, of course, there are certain limitations that also we need to understand. Some of the limitations are like we talk about the poor surface reflection, surface material, and maybe ultrasonic waves, surface orientation affect the reflection of the ultrasonic. Maybe these are some of the examples which is examples of disadvantage. We cannot say that as an disadvantages. Maybe these are some kind of limitations or when you talk about the ultrasonic sensors. So over there, like you can see some videos which I have posted in my lecture. We talk about the ultrasonic sensors and how ultrasonic sensors has been different. So touch and proximity sensors are also important. When you talk about your touch and proximity sensors, where we talk about your typical sensor, we have the IR proximity sensor, we have the photodiodes, we have the touch sensors, we have the RFID detector, and some of these examples are also giving a good light on how sensors are helping you across in the artificial intelligence and robotics. And when you talk about the infrared, we can talk about your IR emitter. We have your IR radials, detectors, battery, IR emitters, and these are some examples of how IR or infrared is being detected on the robots. Okay, well, thank you for listening my video. Maybe like in the coming days, we will be looking forward to learn more about what are the different types of sensors and how sensors are being used in IoT applications. Thank you.